what is retirement? Retirement was invented in the 19th century for just a few people. Until it was invented, people went on working until they couldn't. They went on working because they had to. So most people who were in manual occupations, as the majority of people were, had to go on working for as long as possible because there were no pensions. You only had your savings. Most people didn't have any savings. All the world's insurance companies were created in the 19th century in order to allow people to save a penny a week or something like that to pay for their funeral. That was often their only saving. And to die as a pauper was so shameful that you would put aside a penny a week to pay for when you died. So retirement is a very modern concept. Otherwise, for all of human society, for all of time, people went on making their way as best they could until the point at which they were either very sick or they died. Retirement, then, is a point for which you are prepared when your occupational work ceases, and as a result of your contributions over the years, you can draw a pension, so you can have income without employment. That was revolutionary. It didn't occur on a widespread scale until after the Second World War, and so the modern concept of retirement was created from the 1950s onwards. And that was a kind of leisure concept where during your working life, especially if it was very hard, you looked forward to a time when you didn't have to go to work, you didn't have to do this difficult stuff, you didn't have to get up in the morning. And you thought that all those things that you didn't have to do would be wonderful, and you looked forward to it. And after your 50 years of work, maybe you got a clock or a watch, but the ticking of time beyond retirement for many people was a burden because they had not thought of anything beyond it. And then we had a period where a retirement model was created. It was gardening and travel and going to see castles and generally some kind of organised leisure activity. But that was only for those who had money to spare. Most people didn't. Now there is a period of the third age, that is a period when you're fit and healthy beyond retirement from your main lifetime occupation. And some people create fulfilling lives doing those things. Gardening, visiting, being in groups. Many of them add to that volunteering, working with other people, doing things that they feel are worthwhile for society or for individuals. Or they may be in grandparenting, where they're giving time back into their family. These can be very purposeful things, but on the whole they are seen as temporary. And we know from research that most people who do volunteering only do it for a relatively short time, up to 3 years. But retirement is now a long period, and so we need to think of retirement not as just some kind of stopgap between the end of work and the end of life, but it's a transition point into the future of life that has purpose and meaning and is socially valued by you and those around you, so that you are still an engaged member of society. So we are trying to reinvent retirement but we haven't got very far down that line yet.